Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised. And this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the 342nd One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, here on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Grammond, and I'll be your host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, we are joined with members and support members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's program. So without further ado, let us get that up and begin.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you, Rick. Can you hear me properly? I do my sound check because I know I always have bad internet. Can you?
Yeah, it sounds good so far, Stefania. Thank you.
Perfect. So welcome everybody from all over the world. So that's why I said good evening, good morning, good afternoon, because I don't know exactly where you are, and I know we're kind of worldwide. So in this appointment of every Tuesday, where we meet up all the knowledge seeker, Universal Council supporter, and the Universal Council. So I'm happy to make the introduction of today. My name is Stefania, and I'm representing the Italian language for the Universal Council. And it's my pleasure to do the introduction today because the workshop of last week, the 533, was a very important workshop. Matter of fact, Mr. Keshe recommend us to listen over and over until we can get a full understanding of what has been taught last Thursday. So I really recommend to any one of you, if you didn't listen yet, the past workshop, please find the time and listen to it because it will bring a lot of understanding how the magnetic fields works and how we can learn how to control our central energy solo the man, we call him also. And by controlling with the magnetic fields, if we can control those, then we create condition for transmutation. So, and on the workshop of last week, Mr. Keshe explained in details how can we control these magnetic fields and how can create condition of transmutation. And he talked about many, so much stuff. He talked about the heart, he talked about the calcium. So he talks about the child of Mitra. Really, there is a lot to listen, re-listen, and understand. So today, as usual, we're gonna start with the wishes. So these wishes are from the Universal Council. And then we're gonna pass to the soul connection, where we're gonna connect at the soul level. So will be a silence in that point. Just to let you know for who is new of this workshop meetings. And then we're gonna talk about, we're gonna listen a video from Mr. Keshe from last workshop. Very interesting, so don't miss out. And then we're gonna talk about, we're gonna make a summary of, again, of parts of the workshop of last week. After that, we're gonna go into the transmutation. So we're gonna talk more about the transmutation appointment there are every month. And there is gonna be other Universal Council member make their contribution and share their knowledge with us so we can learn all together. So I hope you're gonna enjoy, and we can start with the wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone to be here. Thank you, Rick. I think it's Lisbeth that will read this wish, and then Andrea, he will read the other two, and then Lisbeth again, and then Dean. Okay. So Lisbeth, if you want to go ahead reading this wish, thank you.
Universal Council wish the conversation between the government of Iran and the United States result in a permanent and lasting peace for the planet as one nation. Our wish is our comment.
We, the Universal Council, wish that the knowledge seekers understand we have to start and learn the magnetic fields to get rid of the attached fields in thyself. The fields of the creation are the most important to become a passenger of the universe. We as mankind have to understand that our soul is unlimited and can convert, coalesce with other souls, or start a new life. The rays of the sun becomes part of us. In a way, we have the sunshine in our heart.
We create one of the Creator because we are created in His image.
We, the Universal Council, give to the soul of physicality to reach the soul of man, the connection to our energy of peace. In understanding the fields of creation, we ride the superhighway into.
Hello, everyone. Andrea is speaking, support member from the German community. I invite you to the soul connection of today. So please relax your body. Your legs and your arms. Inhale and exhale 2 or 3 times. And now we connect us to all souls of mankind, the animals, the plants, and to the universal community. Now, please go with your focus in the middle of your brain. And feel the emotions of your soul. Now we connect us with the dome of peace. For peace in thyself and for world peace. Now feel a golden line downwards from your brain over your nose, over your mouth, to your neck, and to your heart. Try to hold this golden line. During the soul connection. Feel the golden light in your heart. Try to feel the rays of the sun. And now connect your soul of physicality with the soul of planet Earth. Please come slowly back in this moment. Thank you. You can go ahead, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Andrea. Mark, Universal Council supporter, United States. Well, we hope you feel the importance of the work you just participated in to become interactive in this process of creating the dome of peace. And it's not a physical dome, so don't look for it with your matter state eyes. This is a plasmatic dome we're creating. So we're asking you to participate in the process of creation. Creation of a permanent peace on this planet for all of its inhabitants. As we heard in the opening video, if it's your wish to see peace, path of peace is made very clearly. It's the soul of the collective. Awareness by giving will create a position of change. And we're all learning more about this process. I know Mr. Keshe has referred to the Universal Council learning it, but we're all learning about this. And this process of wishing is very interesting. If you wish and your wish is correct, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And of course, the universal community uses this process continually. So every day at 9 p.m. Central European Summertime, we are joining collectively using our energy centers. I know they don't call it the soul in space, but they call it the energy center. And we're joining on this level. And you can take a second, you can take a minute, you can take 5 minutes in this process, and then extend it to perhaps multiple times per day, even more than that. The reason we do it collectively is because we're stronger. We create a wider spectrum of fields or emotions of balance and calmness and peace. And of course, through this process, we're actually joining humanity with the universal community. By making the wish, we're creating the conditions, as we heard in the previous workshop, not 553, but 552, where Mr. Keshe indicated that by making a wish, you're creating a condition for the materials or energies needed to actually create that wish. It's just so simple if you don't overthink it. So through our energy centers in this process, we're touching the world leaders, we're touching the religious leaders and others directly, which could not be done or achieved in the matter state. As we've heard explained to us many times, it costs millions of dollars just to get an audience with some of these, which we'd consider world leaders or world religious leaders, just to see them. And even if you had the funds, you may not even get an audience. Rick, if you could bring up the World Peace Treaty. And if you need to strengthen your resolve, you can sign this document. You can sign it with a pen and display it. Or you could, if you need to strengthen your resolve in this world peace, find something to serve, not something that serves you. Or use the ethos of Mitra. which will strengthen, I think, your resolve in this process. The idea of thinking good and speaking good and acting good. And this is our World Peace Treaty. It's rather a simple document. And I did ask at one point in time if this would be the document the world leaders or religious leaders were signing. It was confirmed to me that this is the exact document that they will sign. So perhaps I'll read it quickly. And we, as citizens of the earth, from this moment on, accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We shall never think about getting involved or incite war, or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this we all agree and swear with our, and you can delete as appropriate, it's fairly self-explanatory, you can sign it, put your name, date, have it witnessed, again, same process. And after signing this treaty, be proud to display this certificate wherever you consider being important to you, that everyone can see and know your ethos to fellow men and the mankind and other created beauties of the Creator. And again, it's up to you. And this is a test for humanity, as it's been spoken, where we're learning actually, or the Keshe Foundation is really unraveling the mystery of the energies of the, or the mystery of the matter state to its energies. We never thought we had such ability. We're actually all these low energy nuclear reactors in so many ways, in the plasmatic sense, if I could put it that way. So find something to serve, use the ethos of Mitra, sign the World Peace Treaty, and I think it will increase your resolve to work on this process. Again, we're quite adept at taking, but we're not that adept at giving. And that's all we need to do, is actually give. And what we need will be automatically taken by the soul if I understand things correctly, which I don't have a deep understanding, but I have some understanding of this process. And what we've heard from Mr. Keshe in the last workshop is that one of the leaders in Iran, the religious leaders, has actually received his request, as about moving away from war and retaliation and the rest. And of course, we know about the Brazilian team, and maybe you can just bring this up, Rick. And it's also something that when you're doing these minutes of silence or moments of silence, that you can include some of these, what's mentioned here. The souls of the 5+1 peace negotiators, the souls of the International Atomic Energy Agency, all souls working for peace in Vienna, the soul of humanity, the soul of world leaders and religious leaders of planet Earth. So when you join us at 9 p.m. on this plasmatic level, keep these in mind, and you can also interact with any soul you like. But the Brazilian team has been doing this faithfully, daily, regularly, and now we're seeing some movement. Again, this is not a day job. This is not something you put the cookies in the oven and 45 minutes later, 20 minutes later, they're finished. This is a much longer term process for these religious leaders, world leaders, because in a way their souls are broken in a way. I'm not judging them. I'm not saying, they're totally broken, but they haven't learned to give. And this process, this plasmatic process, not in the matter state, but in the energy state, using our energy centers, can touch them, and even touch the ones who control them behind the scenes. So this is what the Brazilian team has done. This is what the Universal Council has done. And this is what the Keshe Foundation has done to, again, open this mystery of the matter state to its energies, or the matter state of the entity, meaning us, to our energies. So join us if you'd like. You'll be proud of the work you do. You'll be proud of the person you are, and you'll be proud of the difference you make. The decision is yours. Thank you. If anyone would like to add anything else, please feel free.
Thank you, Marcus. Dean here, representing the English language. So I'd like to continue on with what Mark was just speaking about there. For me, it's a bit like in the present moments, we see that the situation around the planet is having many devices, many systems that are being positioned. And the planet is being circumnavigated by satellites and communication systems that we don't see them. They're out there somewhere. We see maybe at night sometimes. We may see a flashing light or something. But these systems are working and they are operating around the globe. And they're in the matter state condition. So this means they're physical objects that are conducting a series of interactions that control and are part of our daily lives. And they become a very big part of our daily physical life in all the communications that we receive, or many of them. The foundation of what Mark has just been speaking about is on a soul level. So if you can imagine that once you step inside, you'll receive the knowledge and you can communicate outside in a completely different way. Zero-time communication. And the communication isn't just linked to one position. It's a plasma. And that plasma can be part of a much larger plasma. So the conditions that are being part of what we've come to understand are changing in the physical sense, in the telecommunications, the devices that are being present, and many that we don't know about. However, the knowledge is being broadcast freely, being shared amongst humanity, bit by bit, drip by drip, soul by soul, interaction by interaction. And the light, the noise, the part that is part of you, the soul interaction, is starting to take position, has always been in position. So when you go inside and you communicate these, if you can do it every day at 9 p.m. CET time, for the elevation of the souls and the protection of the physicality in the universe. So if we take the physicality in the universe, we would need protection because it's a physical being. It's like those satellites that are sat up in the orbit around the planet Earth. They have a physical body, so they're very susceptible to conditions. They could be moved very quickly and very easily just by a cosmic event, a cosmic soul interacting. So use your soul to interact in the way that you need for you to be in peace in these moments. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Dean. And just another little secret, nobody fails this test. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mark and Dean. Next, we have an extract from a conversation or program with Marie and Claudia with the questions and answers with the Universal Council. And today's excerpt will be part 6 out of 6. And this has to deal with the third and fourth question. So let's just make sure that's set up here. And let's see what they're saying this week.
So then we are on the third question. I would like to know if everyone had a magrav by their side at the time of the intention. I would like to know if everyone had a magrav by their side at the time of the intention, would the strength be greater and could peace be achieved more quickly?
Então, a terceira pergunta é: gostaria de saber se todos tivessem uma grave ao seu lado no momento da intenção, a força seria maior e a paz poderia ser alcançada mais rapidamente?
And the first answer, what we keep to remind ourselves is that we are magrav, and we have it inside you and around us. We just forget to use it. No need for external magrav. The external magrav is there to remind us what we can do.
Então, a primeira resposta é: o que devemos nos lembrar é que nós somos o magrav e que temos ele dentro de nós e ao nosso redor. Apenas nos esquecemos de usá-lo. Não há necessidade de um magrav externo. O magrav externo está lá só para nos lembrar o que podemos fazer.
And there is another answer. GANs, magravs, and essentially created systems are created to assist in the physical dimension. As we acquire appropriate knowledge and with daily practice, we find a way to realize our desires, unifying ourselves with other souls, and there we find peace. It's a process, but it can be done. Follow the ethics of the Creator. Think, speak, and do good to all beings. We are the soul of peace.
Então, a terceira resposta é: GANs e magrav são sistemas essencialmente criados para ajudar na dimensão física. À medida que adquirirmos o conhecimento adequado e com a prática diária, encontrarmos uma maneira de realizar nossos desejos, unindo-nos mas pode ser feito. Siga a ética do Criador. Pensar, falar e fazer o bem a todos os seres. Nós somos a alma da paz.
And there is another answer. I live amongst 3 magravs. They are part of my life, and it's difficult to say what it would have been without them. We open our soul dimension by living the right ethos. As soon as we learn to manifest by combination of the rays, fields, and plasmas, there will be no limit left. The magravs makes available for us to combine and tap into the rays and the fields. Understand how deep this goes and prepare yourself for this beautiful new dimension that is added to our physical dimension. You will be amazed at what it is to come.
Eu vivo entre 3 magraves. Eles fazem parte da minha vida e é difícil dizer o que teria sido sem eles. Abrimos nossa dimensão da alma, vivendo o ethos correto. Assim que aprendermos a nos manifestar por meio da combinação dos raios, campos e plasmas, não haverá mais limites. Uma grave nos permite combinar e acessar os raios e os campos. Entenda o quão profundo isso vai e prepare-se para essa nova e bela dimensão que é adicionada à nossa dimensão física. Você ficará maravilhado com o que está por vir.
And there is another answer. I don't have a magrab at home. I think even the magrab is there to teach us about the work of the fields, our soul, and all souls in our body, and how we can utilize the energy to bring everlasting peace on planet Earth. But the magrab is a tool to learn the elevation of our souls, and they are souls themselves and support humanity in its transition towards peace.
Então, eu não tenho uma grave em casa. Acho que até mesmo uma grave está lá para nos ensinar sobre o trabalho dos campos, da nossa alma e de todas as almas em nosso corpo, e como podemos utilizar a energia para trazer a paz eterna ao planeta Terra. Mas uma grave é uma ferramenta para aprender a elevação de nossas almas, e eles próprios são almas, e apoiam a humanidade em sua transição para a paz.
So then we are on the fourth question. Is there a particular way to connect at the 9 PM CEST every evening, participating at elevation of all souls with the Universal Council?
Então vamos para a quarta pergunta. Existe alguma maneira específica de se conectar às 21 horas da noite do Brasil, todas as noites, participando da elevação de todas as almas com o Conselho Universal?
And the first answer, no, just connect.
Então a primeira, deixa eu só fazer uma correção, eu falei 21 horas do Brasil e 21 horas da horário da Europa, que eles fazem a conexão. Então a primeira resposta é, não, apenas conecte-se.
And there is another answer. The elevation of souls is all the time, and as souls we are connected. I see it as a field of peace, where we add our highest fields as often as we can, and this field will grow, and all souls can take from it what they need for the elevation of their soul.
Então, outra resposta é, a elevação das almas ocorre o tempo todo, e como almas estamos conectados. Eu a vejo como um campo de paz, no qual acrescentamos nossos campos mais elevados, sempre que possível, e esse campo crescerá e crescerá, e todas as almas podem pegar dele o que precisam para a elevação de suas almas.
And there is another answer. By connecting with your own soul, let it be the captain. You always finds the path, the actions, the answers. Connect with love, feeling the love of the Creator. You wish focused that is your order. I have to read that again. You wish focused, that is your order. Feel how this desire will change the behavior of the world leaders.
Então, outra resposta é, ao se conectar com sua própria alma, deixe que ela seja a capitã. Você sempre encontrará o caminho, as ações e as respostas. Conecte-se com o amor, sentindo o amor do Criador. Seu desejo focado é a sua ordem. Sinta como esse desejo mudará o comportamento dos líderes mundiais.
And there is another answer. It's the expansion of your soul. If enough souls expand, they interconnect through the dome of peace. It's the true intention of love and peace that wins.
Então, a última resposta é a expansão de sua alma. Se um número suficiente de almas se expandir, elas se interconectarão por meio da cúpula da paz. É a verdadeira intenção de amor e paz que vence.
So that was the answers from the Universal Council today. And I thank everyone who have contributed to this manuscript. Thank you.
Então, essas foram as perguntas e respostas dos membros do Conselho Universal, e ela agradece a todos que contribuíram. Muito obrigada. Thank you, Maria, again. Thank you to be here.
Okay, that's our presentation from Claudia and Marie. And next, we have an extract from the 553rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And that was our workshop of last week, August 29th, 2024. And we're starting around the 7-minute mark here. And let's begin.
We are always wondering what happened when we create a direct line to our Creator, when we see ourselves elevated or we pass the barriers in the universe and universe, and we establish a field with our Creator, what we think, what we know, all the fields of the universe are connected to it, as is a plasma of creation itself. And what would it do? What changes will bring to us? What is the fear of the man? If we touch, we find a single line of fields which reaches it, would it change us? Would it elevate us? Would it bring another dimension into play? And as we know, as one of the scientists said, and as we always played with magnets, if we turn a magnet, a spherical magnet, the other spherical magnet which is with it, a stream part of it, will rotate. But it brings back a lot of deep thinking and understanding. And that is, we know us, our planetary system, the sun every 23 years changes polarity. And we are connected to it, but we don't know that. Our polarity doesn't change. Why? But the interesting thing is, we are so minute that the field just passes. The field, the strength of the change of magnetic poles of the sun every 11.5 years does not touch any of us. We just know if something happened, there is something we discovered recently. But every 11 years, every 23 years, how come the Earth doesn't change polarity? What happened to us? And because it's such a big mass that we are part of it, you're not even considered as, the sun is considered to be 99% of the mass of the solar system. All this planetary system are just the dust, the speck of dust in its size, in its operation. But the interesting thing is, when it does every 11 years, when it changes its polarity, is this polarity is sequential with its twin star? Does it change over there We know there is a twin star. We are aware of its existence. We have confirmation of it through disasters which has happened to us and the rest of it. But how come it changes with that, but it doesn't change us and the other planetary system? We have our own independent time of switching our polarity on this planet. What controls this change? And we say so many thousands of years, Earth polarity changes. We have evidence, we measure, we see the flow of the materials, we see in the layers of the soil, we can see that dated directly. But as the sun change of polarity does not touch the Earth, so the change of polarity of the Earth doesn't touch the man because we're so minute, we're exactly the same as the sun and the Earth. But what happened if the line of magnetic field between the Earth and the sun opens up? That there is no atmosphere. At the moment, we don't have any direct line connection to the sun. We just see field forces. There is no interaction whatsoever directly with the sun at all. We are a rotating object, and the sun is the rotating object in respect to the Earth, and we are another rotating object, the plasma of the soul of the man. What is interesting is that when this changes polarity, this doesn't. This carries on with his work. And so is our soul. Our soul is a third party. The direction of the motion of the sun is opposite to the Earth. If we look at the moon, moon rotates in opposite direction. In a way, if you look at it, it's the other way around for you not to get confused later on. I'll put them in the right way that you can see it. In a way, the sun goes anti-clock. The Earth goes clockwise. That's why we have the horizon on the east. When we look at the moon, moon is anti-clock. But isn't the soul of the man another moon? So is the direction of the rotation of our soul, in fact, clockwise? It has to be. It has no choice. Because the fact is, it has to be anti-clock because we have to follow the law of physics. It cannot be exceptions. This brings a lot of understanding to the world of creation of the man. Because when the sun changes its polarity every 11 years, does not affect the Earth. And the same change of polarity of the Earth every so many thousands of years does not affect the man who live on it. The same, it doesn't affect the moon. It's something individual. But if Earth had a twin structure somewhere in the solar system, and we know there is one planet which actually goes opposite, but we know how they change polarity. But if we follow this pattern of work, which is in line with the work of the universe, what we see in macro is in micro. So we see the body to change, the soul of the man to rotate anti-clockwise. Then, if you go back in the structure of the man, it brings a lot of understanding why our heart is on the left side, why we need a jolt of it every few seconds. Isn't that jolt the change of polarity which the twin sister takes, twin partner takes, in consideration of the rotation of the soul of the man's magnetic field? Isn't it why when we damage the heart, the soul disappears? Because it lost its twin, it lost its operational control. Man looks at the heartbeat of the man for delivering blood, but it's a powerful magnetic field system, because when its work gets interrupted, we have a heart attack, we have a stroke. When the emotion gets interrupted in the soul of the man, in the dimension of his physicality, in the head of the man, can damage the heart. This brings a lot of understanding to us from the psychosomatic direction of the work of the man. Now, if we look at plasmatic structure of the body of the man, the heartbeat, the soul of the man, the direction and dimension of the rotation, the position of the heart, the heartbeat, then the world of the science of the body of the man totally changes. How far in line from the central line of the brain is the central line of the heart? Does the change in its position due to any reason brings a change in the shape and operation of the brain? It does. We have a stroke, the energy release so high when it goes up, always touches the left side of the brain. We see paralysis with a stroke usually on the left side. During the stroke, or because of the stroke, and during a heart attack. If you understand these things, a lot of the structure of how to release, control your central energy, we call the soul in the space, changes. The world of medicine will change. If you play with the field transfer in the brain of the man, you can realign the heart, even is on the left side, to move his energy to the side that is realigned directly with the physical structure, a spinal line of the man and the brain. One of the reasons that man dies so early, so fast, within 70, 80 years, is the position of the heart. Because it's not just pumping the blood, it has to keep realigning with the brain of the man, with the soul of the man, and the dimension of physicality of the man. Why so many people survive longer and longer? Have they ever considered the position of the heart in respect to central line soul of the man? You'll find an answer there. Because it needs less energy. It doesn't need such a high heartbeat. And it changes it. Because scientifically, the world of science tells us after so many million something heartbeats is the average heartbeat of your system, your motor stops. We have even calculated it. How many heartbeats and from what point we start thinking it's time to say goodbye. But what happened if the biggest question for man is when in life or at point of death you connect directly to the Creator?
Okay, that's again an excerpt from the 553rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop from last Thursday, August 29th, 2024.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for make us listen this piece of the last week workshop. I have to say that the last workshop, as I said at the beginning, it's quite concentrated. There is a lot of information there that are very useful to understand how the magnetic fields work. For example, the piece we just listened now, it's the very beginning of the workshop, and it starts to speak about the direct line with the creator, creating that one magnetic fields. And he started to then talk about the planet and assuming that, not assuming, it's a fact that you have to see them like a magnet, but not to the magnet like the one that we buy or the one Rick usually show, but we have to imagine like a sphere of a magnet. So like the planet, and you can see that Mr. Keshe talk over and over by different example, bringing different example about the same things. So he talk about the planet, where it explained that each planet has got its own polarity, and the polarity it's a personal things. It's not doesn't affect, like the sun doesn't affect the polarity of the earth, and the earth doesn't affect the polarity of the man, and then he talk about the direction of rotation of the sun. So if you heard already, he said that the sun goes anti-clock, if I'm correct, the earth clockwise, the moon anti-clockwise. So there is a reason why the rotation it's opposite. And then even in the earth that goes clockwise, the rotation of the soul of the man is anti-clock. So all these are very key element, because he talked again in the past workshop, he make example of the direct line again between the soul of the man and the heart. Okay, so like it's the same direct line of the creator he was talking at the beginning, or that one feels, now creating that one feels. And he said how is important the position of the heart. So the position of the heart has got a lot to say on the behavior of the man. And he also said that that's why this technology, it's psychosomatic. Now, and he talk also after the pause, he talks about the product, how this technology is made, even the new products are made to change the psychosomatic of the man, the behavior of the man. And it's referred the importance of the position, for example, of the soul of the man and the heart, and creating that direct line. So here we heard also about what happened to the man, for example, in the point of death. So, and this is a very important part, because again, if you think again about the direction of the planet, and you think about also the position, for example, you talk about the sun creating a direct line with the earth that happened for few seconds last year. And he said in that few seconds, we created this direct line, and we still now researching and observing the fact that this event will have on Earth and all of us. Because again, if the line is created, means we will have a change in our psychosomatic behavior. Matter of fact, after the pause, he talked about that we're going towards peace now. So all these things are resaid in many ways. So at the point of departure, we now know that the central energy of the man inside us, it gets released. And how is get released? Because the heart stopped pumping the blood around the body. And now we know that the blood, it's like a cage that holds us inside. Our energy, central energy, is held inside of the body. But once this this circulation finish, because the heart stop working, and if we think again about this direct line between the soul of the man and the heart, and you talk about as well as a twin star. So the soul of the man is a twin star of the heart, and vice versa, and one affected each other. So once the heart stop pumping, then the twin star of the soul of the man, the collaborating with the heart, it has to change position as well. So if the heart is not there, the twin star, the soul of the man, has to move. And there are the soul of the man can be or rejected by the earth, because as we talked at the beginning, Mr. Keshe talked about the different rotation of the soul of the man and the earth. So once the blood is not there anymore and the cage it's open, you got this repulsion going through. So the earth with the fields repulse the soul of the man, but also the soul of the man, it's rotating the same way as the sun, that we know that can be related like a creator. So you have this repulsion from the earth, and you have this attraction from the soul of the man to the sun, or to the creation. And it's very important, this part, because it's going to connect to the fact when we talk about the conduct of the man, or how we behave. So the relation is this one. So if you got the right conduct, so we already said how it's important to think good, talk good, and act good. Why is so important? Why is so important to be good, act good, and do good? Because that way of being, it brings us in line with the creator. Because as we know, the creator is wants the good of everyone, or is like the sun. The sun shine in everybody. So once we're in line, then we can not just be repelled by the earth, but we can go back to the source. And that's why Mr. Keshe said it's very, very important to release in this workshop, because we will be able to understand how the magnetic fields work. And once we know how the magnetic fields works, and we know how to control them, then we can also be able to decide to transmute. So with this, in transmutation, it's similar or same process of what happened at the point of death. So you're not just gonna be, you wanna be repelled by the earth and in the middle of the universe, or you wanna have a say where you want to go. So with your conduct, you will be able to create the central line, and you will be able to be more in charge of what's gonna happen next. What's gonna happen once you departure, point of death, or once you transmute. But also, he also said that in transmutation, a matter of fact, in this workshop, talk about the new systems, they've been updated, and also talk about the new product, they've been released. And they all in common have the purpose of change the psychosomatic behavior of the man. and how this happening. So in correlation of the systems of the update of the system, with the appointment that we do monthly, every month, as a practice of the theory of the Thursday, Mr. Keshe has created a system where can facilitate us to release the cage and be able create the environment for us to expand our central energy points. And also it created the environment for us to be online with the source, to where we come from. And also with all of that, we got the knowledge, because we know the fields are in the knowledge, to have a say where to go. So that's why we can travel. That's why the body is a vehicle. That's why the transmutation, it will allow us to travel and come back home. And when we travel, so when we transmute and we come back, we already learning that once we are back, we are repairing our body. We're repairing the damage. We're taking away all these attachments, and we're getting more and more online with what really we are, and then as a consequences, we will have more say of where we want to go or how we want to have our life to be. So this is more and more things to say. Like, I can talk forever, because he also talk about that's why it's important to listen to this workshop, because after the pause, he talk about the product and explain how those products are really there for helping us to change the psychosomatic behavior of the man, because they're helping to realign the heart with the central energy system. And you talk about as well, do you remember the star formation, how we're all familiar with the star formation. So when we're creating, for example, the position of the heart, when he said that we can change the position of the heart, it means that when we're creating that star formation, the heart can be energetically be moved off position. And when it's in line with the central energy of the man, it's when then we're in line with the source and the creation. And so when we transmute. So yeah, and then talk about the children of Mitra. It's, for example, it go again talking about the same things, but this time on birth. So explain again that the children of Mitra, they will be different from the very start. And again, going into the rotation of the baby and the baby inside the womb of the mother. And again, there is again this line, talk again about this line that the children in Mitra, we will have very clearly of their heart with the head. That's why their behavior is different. That's why I've been called the perfect child. And he talks about also further on about the calcium and the amino acid. It talks about how the amino acid can be how the calcium, how the lymph go inside the bone marrow, and then how between the amino acid and the calcium, and here happen again like the planet, how we can repel the calcium out. The same things of the planet, or the same things of us when we transmute. So you really will start to notice this repetition of same things with different names. It's just a matter of really listen, write it down, try to explain it with your own word what you understand. but slowly, I'm convinced that all of us here, we get in a very deep knowledge. And if we can grasp what Mr. Keshe has said last workshop, really will make it easy for us to understand more and more how the universe work, how the body work, why we're here, who we are, what we have to do, why we're here to learn, the most important question in life that can be answered by understanding the knowledge of what Mr. Keshe bringing to us through those teachings. So I really recommend it. I don't know if I confuse you more or not, but if you're confused, don't worry, because it's normal. I'm still confused as well myself. I just suggest you just reading, listening, reading, talking, and over a period of time, things will get in, and practice as well. That's why definitely I recommend everyone who can to go into practice, go into this once a month session, or if you can financially, buy the product, because they're all connected together. And the first that arrive, the first that will be able to transmute, understand properly in such a way that we'll be able to teach to other, then will be like a ripple effect. As I said, we're all connected, so we're gonna have the benefit as well. So sorry about the noise. So I think I talked too much. So thank you. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything. Thank you so much for listening.
Stefania, thank you very much for your knowledge. Beautiful knowledge, wonderful that you can express it, and each and every person, I think, receive the knowledge on a soul level so that they can elevate. Thank you very much for the knowledge. It really was very deep, and your understanding of it is very much in line with, I think, many of the knowledge seekers who've come to understand some of this plasmatic conditions that are arising through the field strengths of the emotions that are part of being present in a physical body and directed and come through the universal flow from the soul of the man. What I gathered from some of the things you said there was I suddenly realized the beauty of the knowledge that is shared and the way it's been transmuted to each and every soul. Each of us takes a little part of it and understands our bit. And then, as you said, it's that thinking, speaking, and acting in the correct manner, in the correct way. And I think deep down inside each and every individual, in the one soul, we all know this, we all feel this, and we all receive what we need to receive to elevate us that little bit further, that little bit higher. I've been listening to and seen many other teachings and other things that are being said in the present moments. And it made me realize the knowledge that you've just shared and the way it was disputed, given, directed towards us, is coming from a higher source. It's coming from a position that is beyond what humanity has had before. And the old knowledge, some of the knowledge that we've received, has created a condition of a fixed position, a very fixed position, and so this new knowledge that's come along, this plasmatic condition, is making people understand the beauty that is within them, and for some, it's that magnetic field strength of not being able to go close to, not being able to get near it. It's like that field force of a maggraph. If you have the wrong intentions, the wrong interactions, there is no interaction. Nothing happens, and it stops. if the intention and the interactions are in line with the creator, the magnetic flow, that superhighway opens up, and we all then sense and feel it. And this is why some of us, sometimes, even the knowledge seeker has been around a long time, and I include myself with this, we sense it and we feel it. We go through deep emotional connections, and then all of a sudden we sort of we come to an emotional imbalance or something, and then the flow, the magnetic fields just tail off, they stop, and you stop that connection. Then when you open yourself, the heart, or you open your thoughts, your intentions to the knowledge once more, and you don't just see the knowledge that's been spread through the conventional interactions. So through the medias that we presently have, the interactions of society and theology has taught us a very specific way. And it's got us to this point, as Mr. Keshe would said, and we needed this. We needed this to get us to this point. And now we've reached this point. We now have the knowledge that has just been explained there wonderfully, that supersedes what's being shared in the present moments to most of humanity. The knowledge seekers that come to this, they touched on the soul level, and it's like a magnet. They're drawn to this knowledge, and you feel it and you know it instantly. The moment it touches you, you know it's something very powerful, and you can't deny it anymore. It becomes part of you. And this is why I think many of the souls that are present in various positions around the planet that are very physical cannot do not want to accept this, because it takes away the systems that they've built around themselves. And the system that we've just been explained is on a soul level. You don't need anything physical. You don't need this. You can be the most independent, humble person. And as long as you understood some of the knowledge that's just been shared, then you're directly elevated and you can touch the heart and soul of another. And that can be a president, and that can be a humble person on the street. And it can also be the trillions of other souls that are present with us in many shapes and forms. And the universal knowledge, the universal condition of man is being gifted for us to join the universal community. And it would be, as I said earlier, when the communication systems are opened up and the Keshe Foundation becomes part of a bigger totality in the physical sense, then this knowledge would spread very, very quickly. And the whole of the planet would be elevated instantly, I believe. I sense on a soul level. So this is why the knowledge has been slightly kept into the background. The communication systems that are in place create a field strength of emotions that are totally different and not in line with creation. So when you, as a knowledge seeker, gravitate towards or magnetically are pulled towards this, then you open up as a soul, and then your beauty that you carry within inside yourself, you then express and you give and you share to the others, and they sense it and they know it. They know that field strength, and they become part of it. So for each and every one of us who receives the knowledge, enjoy being present with it. Know that you're being elevated, and know that the understanding can seem very complex, and at the same time it can be very, very simple. It's you, it's the creator, it's the soul, and there is no middleman. It's a direct connection of magnetic fields flowing back and forward. The physical body is a tool in a physical sense, a manifestation that is in place for us to experience And many of us enjoy the experience very much. And it ties us to a certain condition, a planetary condition. When we open ourselves to the magnetic fields on a soul level, then we join the superhighway. It's very much like the productions of the nano-coating materials. You open up the material, and then it becomes, as I've said, a superhighway. The transfer of energy becomes very, very fast, instant, in fact. And the materials are all in the matter state, but then you're creating that that magnetic field that is a direct connection that amplifies and gives you the opportunity to be present and to interact with many different souls in many different ways. And I think humanity and many souls present are starting to understand this as more and more people come to the knowledge. And Mr. Keshe's teachings and the knowledge and understanding on all these wonderful teachings have been going on for many years now, and all the knowledge seekers we see all around us that carry part of it. They all carry part of it. And I've noticed when they speak, they become like the creator. They become like Mr. Keshe. They are a fragment of the knowledge. So it's like Mr. Keshe, I remember him saying that when you have a magnet, and if you break a magnet, the actual single pieces of the magnet still carry the same field strength, the same interactions, even if you break it up into smaller pieces. And I think this is exactly what's happening with the knowledge and with the understanding, that we are creating magnets, souls that carry the knowledge, a jewel of information of fields that you can never stop now, because the one soul has received the knowledge from the creator, and then they share it. They share it so that the magnet gets passed on, and each and every one of us starts to shine. And so it's that the separation happens. We spread out around the planet, around the galaxies. And then when you look from a different viewpoint, that all those bright shining little dots, stars, souls, when you look from a further out, they become one jewel, one shining star. It just depends on your viewpoint. So an understanding of the knowledge from each and every one of us is the beauty of being present in the moment. So thank you, Stefania. I'm sorry I went on a little bit too long there. I'll let somebody else take over now. Thank you, Stefania. Thank you all.
No problem. I just want to add something about what you just said. Like, for example, so really, Mr. Keshe, I think what he's trying to do, this is obviously my opinion, he tried to make us understand that once we understand the fields, how the fields work, then we can decide. We can decide the direction of the fields. We can decide which dimension we want to be. We can decide, because once we know the higher gives to the lower, the strongest give to the weaker, there are certain principles that if we follow, then we have the exact result we want to. And as you gain more knowledge from this teaching, then you can see what Mr. Keshe tried to teach us as a whole. So, for example, then we understand why he created a system to change the social behavior, because he knows that if he changes the behavior of the leaders, they represent the nations, so they will automatically, all people part of that nation will follow whatever change the leader brought. That's why it's important for us to meet up at 9 p.m. And or have a 5-minute silence where collectively we we hope, because we're all connected, we're getting together, and we wish for the elevation of the leaders. So once you understand the magnetic fields, you can resolve many problems of society of today, even in health. As I said, when you come out, when you transmute, and you have this expansion of the field, so you change in dimension and you change in rotation or direction, and then you reverse again. If you know how to do that, you can heal yourself. So there is no more needs of going to somebody else for help, for if you know. So and you can take it in any direction. You can take it in any direction but by the end of it, this knowledge will set humankind free. So the bottom line is, if we really grasp what has been taught us, and we fully understand it, and then we can fully put to practice, then we are really free from any slavery. We solve any problem. That's why you said that the product is released today. They're gonna change the psychosomatic behavior of the man. Again, yeah. So the intention is to, my understanding is to not keep him repeating the same cycle of mistakes over and over, but their objective is to learn what has been given to us, so we can stop this cycle and start a new one, where everyone can live a happy life and have what they need at the point of need. Because once you understand the motion of the fields and how you can direct them, then you can have what you need at the point of need. So yeah, so on and on and on. Yeah, so the future is bright, but we have to study a lot and keep in teaching to each other. Yeah. Okay, I think I said everything, I think. Okay, if
Thank you,
anyone want
Stefania.
to add.
Hello, everyone. I only wanted to add a thing that I understood about this teaching is that and that I heard in another teaching too, I did like a correlation, is that all these pieces move in groups depending on the magnetic and gravitational fields towards like a queen, Mr. Keshe said. And he gave an example of a school of fish in the sea, into the sea, which move together like other species too. So for me, these rotational fields changing our solar systems are a dynamic way of traveling towards our queen. And for me, it's Mitra. And this journey is individual, is by your intention, your magnetic and gravitational fields. Thank you.
Yeah, I yes, I can see what you just said, Claudia. For example, when we created that central line, you know, that one line, it's maybe when we move as together, like you said, you know, when you said that to find that line between the sun and the earth, or that one magnetic fields, the way I interpret it, could be when we all become one. So, like you said, we move in groups. Like as a humankind, we all work as one. That's why he said that talk about getting the product and the headphones and the transmutation systems are there to facilitate that process, so we can get rid of our attachment. Because at the moment, everyone think about themselves. Everyone think about there is not this, we are not strong yet to all think for the goods of all as one person suffering is everybody suffering. One person starve of food, it's everybody starving. No? So when we make that oneness, I see that like that too. So we that's why he stresses us to get rid of the attachments, get rid of all these things that we don't need, that keep us a way to become one. Yeah. It's anyone want to add anything? Thank you, Claudia. That was really good. Yeah. And I think nothing is bad, nothing is good. You just have we're just learning how to drive the car. So we can decide, to go back to physicality, or we can decide to expand the central energy system and travel the space. So it just a matter of understand what we are doing, so then we can do whatever we want. Because from my taking of the Mr. Keshe teaching, there is no bad and good, but there is just giving and take. So that's why he said we need to be humble, need to stay humble, because when you're humble, then you are more likely to receive. But also receive means that maybe you are more in line with the Creator, and you, when in the point of death, you just not get rejected. You can control how much humble, how much physical, when I need to be physical, when I need to be humble, is I think is all like a way to turn the steering wheel. When we want to go higher, when we going to go lower, do we want to go right? Do we want to go left? Yeah, but all this when we're gonna lower the magnetic fields. Okay, is anyone would like to add anything?
Stefania, Dean again. I just would like to say, it's the not that I have to try and explain this in a way that it sounds right. So the knowledge being shared and what you've just said is it's giving, and people receive it in the right way. The way that the knowledge has been given, or the way that we are being governed, is always taken. It's always a situation where the intention, the emotion is for a reason to receive the energy, usually through a financial condition. But that can also be an emotional condition attachment to it as well. And this is on a scale from micro to macro. So it starts off as a position of I need some energy. And so for me to receive that energy, I need to take it from you. And so I create a condition, and this would be in a physical form, and I build structures. I build a condition where I am the king of this castle, and everybody else around it has to then give me the energy to feed the condition of the castle, the the embodiment of it, the walls of it, and the structure of it, because it's all in the physical sense. When you listen to the knowledge that's being shared here through Mr. Keshe and the teachings, it's always in a position of the creator stance. So it's always a loving condition of giving and receiving. And it's always a real gentleness of you being touched on a soul level. And the soul would never harm, would never do anything wrong intentionally. Yeah, we all make mistakes, but it's nothing really intentional. when the situation that I see all around the planet is one of just always taken from the physicality, taken from the emotional sense, and receiving the energies. On a soul level, those souls all have to pay back for the intentions. And for many people, this is that's okay, because I'm in a physical form. I don't believe in another energy form. So for me, I take as much as I can in this moment. However, through the knowledge we know, this actually affects each and every moment that you exist in the physical form, because you have to give back in a way. It's always, as it was explained just now by Stefania, is that the stronger always gives to the weaker. But you can flip that. So what is the stronger? Is it stronger being a king, or is it stronger being a humble peasant with nothing? So on a soul level, we know it would be the peasant. In a physical form, with attributes of using physical force, we know it would be a king. But we can also allow this to take a position within our own structure ourselves, between the soul of physicality and the soul of man. And we know deep within us when we do something right or wrong. And I think this is the knowledge, the beauty that's coming forward from Mr. Keshe's teachings. And this is affecting each and every soul, and it's affecting the planet. The magnetic fields have shifted. The cosmetic rays have shifted. You know, we've heard Mr. Keshe say that did something take place on the I think it was April the 20th, 2023, where the magnetic fields have shifted, and we are feeling it. We are part of it. We have, you know, this is on a much bigger totality. It's not just a tiny little physical castle. This is the plasmatic condition of the universe that is constructed and orchestrated by the creator. Totally different thing. And it touches you, would never harm you, but it would give you an elevation. And I think this is taking place through these teachings, and is present in each and every knowledge seeker that is receiving this knowledge in this moment. So thank you all. Thank you, Stefania.
Thank you. Just been reminded about the time, because we're a little bit, so sorry about, sorry, Dina. I just been reminded regarding the time. So we have to go forward, because we can talk.
Forever, I know, yeah.
Yeah,
Time to stop then. Okay, thank you.
Sorry about it.
Thank you very much. Since it's already more than 2 hours, I will skip my part. You can take the next slide, Rick. Thank
Okay,
you.
you can present it next week, Jaco.
Hello, everyone. Andrea again. Now it's the last but one session in September for everyone who will go through the transmutation to be a traveler in the universe. And it's a wonderful session. Please join it. It's for yourself. You can develop yourself, your emotions, and everything else. And it's very important, the results for the development of the technology, and also for the conference in Isfahan in November. The Friday is the 20th of September. It's a special date because we have two events before and after. Before, it's the full moon at the 18th of September. And after that, it's the autumn equinox, the 22nd of September. And all these energies and frequencies touch your soul and influence your emotions and your consciousness. So try to book this session. It's the price is 600 euros plus tax. It's a wonderful event. And when you book, don't forget to write your time zone. It's very important because it's shared in small groups. And yeah, do what you can. It's a special date, and the emotions will be changing more and more for you. Yeah, that's what I have to say for it. And I wish you good luck for your next session. And we can move to the next slide. Thank you.
Regarding transmutation, I think we will transmute to the next slide because since the time is short, and I will talk a little bit in what's happening in the community section more. So let's do that. We can do this later next time. In this area, I wanted to touch on a little bit of things about giving that the other people, both Dean and Stefania, was talking about giving and with humility instead of taking. And part of this relates to this connection that Sun and the planet Earth had, which I was going to cover in the transmutation, but I'm not doing it. It would be much more coherent, but I'll just shorten it up in that, we have to we have to remove our external shielding, so to speak, the shielding that prevents us from receiving high strength fields. So let's take some example from the community development that's going on in my part of the world. As you know, Bangladesh is famous for having floods. It's kind of like, this is the only news you hear from Bangladesh every year, and we had one. And yes, there is some water flow, dam controlling and all that, which is part with the political system. We'll ignore that. What we will look at is the flooding helped in this current situation of transformation that we are going through. So, flooding happened. A lot of people were affected very quickly, and the water rose very rapidly, a lot of rain, and everything that goes with flooding. Now, of course, the students are heavily involved in transferring aids to these people who are affected by the flood. And what happens during this flood is that a lot of people, see these kind of situations, they contribute. But there are a large number of people, most of them will hold position in governments, siphon off a large part of this contribution. This has been the case for the last 50 or so years. It happened right after the independence of Bangladesh. There was like 70 million blanket that came, but none of the poor people received any. So that gives you an example of 70 million. I saw one or two, somewhere around, but I was very young at that time. So, it's kind of like that. The stealing is very heavy. And it goes somewhere and people make money. And same happened with flooding every year. This is a standard procedure during flood time, by the way. So this time it is different because the students were arranging these contributions, and more than ever before, a lot more people contribute. There was a method of delivering these aids, and people were much more willing to help by money, by things and food and everything else. So in this difficult situation of flooding, once again, this movement that we are going through took further momentum. So this is one part. There is some more stories, but because of time, I won't cover them. But things are happening in this way. So, is flooding bad? Is flooding harms a lot of people? Harms a lot of people and all that. This is, yeah, it's true. But even a flooding can be made more beautiful when we are beautiful ourselves. And by us being beautiful, we elevate the people around us little by little. A bag of rice, some, vegetable here, some flour there. All of these contribute. Yes, these are simple things. It's not part of the news, but those who are looking for an indication of peace coming, this is news. And this is the news that we want to be part of. We want to be the news. We don't want to hear about what Queen is doing, and be that, show off or be that stealing. It doesn't matter. We want to hear the news of fear and bringing peace and elevating both our soul and our physicality. That's all for now because of time, but we'll talk further next time. Thank you.
Hello. Can I say a little words? Please focus on all wishes, all souls, and elevate the souls. The government leaders actually work with the peace, work the solve situation, the conflicts, permanent conflicts, like east to west. The governments from Iran and from USA, because it's starting the new cycle, the peace, the permanent peace. Please, all the time, focus it on that wishes, because we are the soul of the peace. And thank you so much.
Elizabeth, thank you. It's Dean again. Thank you very much for what you just said there. You're such a kind, beautiful soul yourself, and we feel it when you say it. Thank you for that. I was going to say some things here, but I think I've taken up too much time today. So if anybody else has got something to say on the bring the needs and wishes, please bring it forward. If not, then Rick, we can move to the next slide. I think as we've gone over the 2 hours, we can, as I said, move to the next slide, unless somebody else would like to say something. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dean. We have a comment from YouTube from Ali, who says, or Ellie, who says, appreciate you all for sharing this valuable info. Always enjoy your presentations on this channel. Love to all. Thank you, Ellie. I don't see any other particular needs and wishes being brought up. Anybody else have anything they'd like to bring up at this point?
Rick, did you see, I didn't want to take this time up. There was something that I shared in the chat. Did you receive that slide? I don't know if it could be shown.
Shared in the chat. Which
it was
chat
in the UC chat, sorry.
I don't know about that.
You don't know it, okay. there was a picture. I'll see if I can send it to you, and you can say whether you can share it or not.
Yeah, you can do that through Andreas is the best way because he controls that, and that should have been done previous actually. But
Okay, when do you find your picture? Please take a little words more. Okay.
So say that again. I didn't quite understand what you said.
Okay, when do you find your picture? I take a little more words. When do you find it? Take a time. Okay. We, the UC members, thank you for each soul that freely, with the love of the Creator, gives to build peace. Because please let you continue to elevate the soul of every leader who influence in any type of community to fully achieve it. Please give you our thanks for all communities, and thank you for that. My English is perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Escuchar.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you very much. Your English is absolutely perfect. I wish I could talk other languages and learn them as quickly as you. Quite amazing what you've achieved. Thank you very much.
so are you sending me a picture through Telegram, Dean, or what's going on there?
Sorry, Rick. No, I've sent it to Andreas, and if Andreas is free to have a look, if he would like to send it to you, then he can. If you want, I can send it directly to you, but I think if you just said I'll send it through Andreas.
Rick, it's in the presentation at the end. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. If we just got back past the needs and wishes, we would see it. Okay, thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
So, Rick, this was if I just explain this. So this is the needs and wishes, and this image was an image that I took some time ago, and it just seemed to fit. It's like it always does on a soul level. Everything just finds its balance and its position. And I made a wish, as you can see the wish on here, the needs and wishes. We, the Universal Council, give to the soul of physicality to reach the soul of man, the connection to our energy of peace, in understanding the fields of creation we ride the superhighway into. And it just seemed fitting that the colors, for many, the soul of physicality is the position that many of us find ourselves present with, and we're very attached to the physical side. So we see this with the red heart, and then we have the part that's to the side, and it's blue, that blue color, and for me that's representing the universal side, the soul of man, and they're deeply connected through all the field and all the spectrum of energies that we've been speaking about today. And I sense that this separation is actually like this. When you actually put the left side back in with the right side, it's one piece. And when we learn to actually connect and be in balance in this way, and with all the teachings, and there are many beautiful knowledge seekers here and many teachers here. I noticed Alex Skorix has been present a few times, and Alex got some most amazing teachings. He has, like many of the knowledge seekers, like Mark and many others, Mosfet, they have amazing ability to absorb the knowledge and then share it in a way that many of us receive and understand it. I know in the moments to follow that it will be of very big significance within the lives of many, many, many souls on planet Earth and beyond, because this knowledge, it's not just positioned on the planet. The knowledge comes from the universe, comes from the Creator, and we are all part of it. And when we understand the beauty of what's being shared, and we put the heart of the soul of the man into the position with the heart of the soul of physicality, and we are in balance with ourselves, we are in peace with ourselves, those magnetic field interactions, that the beauty of the knowledge creates a plasma that starts to shine. And for many in the spiritual world, they think it's the red side, the right side. They think it's the heart is the most important bit. Through the understandings that we've been taught through the soul of the man, there's another part to it that theology touches but doesn't give the full understanding. So when you put some of the understandings from Mr. Keshe's teachings, from the Universal Council, from the knowledge seekers, from all the souls that are present, and from the Creator that has shared this, and when you put that piece back in position, and we become that single entity or that single soul that is aware of everything, and then we start to interact in other dimensions and other realms, and this is like the transmutation. When we interact with both sides of this, the two hearts are put back, or as they separate, if they're separated as one, and then you put them back together as two, you start to feel and sense the needs and wishes of the soul. And that soul has a plasmatic condition that is then a giver. It wants to help, it wants to give, it wants to receive the energy it doesn't have from the others that is shared, which would be received and would be given unconditionally if they have a surplus of that energy. And the Universal Council is doing this on a soul level, and has been doing this for quite some time, along with many other knowledge seekers. The Brazilian team, as we know, are sharing much knowledge and are giving from their soul regularly, continuously, and it's having an effect. It's bringing about a condition where the souls are receiving this energy force, this soul interaction from the Creator, and it's starting to move the magnets. And these jewels, these parts of the magnet, even though they are separated, when they all come back together as one, they shine very brightly. And then we realize we are part of one creation. And we can be part of a bigger totality, or we can stay as in our own little reality world. It's our choice. You're the captain of your ship. You're the captain of your flight. It's your where you need to be in the moment. But when you start to understand and you start to experience some of the plasmatic conditions of the love and care that is really being shared here, then you start to elevate, and that elevation of the soul, which would be in the physical form, then starts to elevate the soul of man, and then we all start to join together in and the Creator, I'm sure, is she or he is smiling very, very brightly and very beautifully upon us, knowing that we have realized something very deep, that is a direct connection back on a field strength, a superhighway, directly back to the creation. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Rick. I think we can move on now. Thank you.
Okay, we do have a question from our people in YouTube here from Riza. Says hello from Austin, Texas. And the question is, are you having a program for beginners on how to make plasma? I wasn't sure how to answer that. It's a very basic question, and it's something we should be able to direct someone. How do we direct someone that's a beginner on, do we have a program for
The
beginners
channel,
on how to make plasma?
We have the
yes.
YouTube channel,
YouTube channel. There is plasma science there. If they go in the our new YouTube channel, the one we're making.
Yeah, there's over 50 playlists and 2,000 videos there, though. Do we have a program for beginners on how to make plasma?
Rick, I have a channel in YouTube, and put all teachers from Alex, because him take a order, like a order, growing and growing. Maybe it's better because he started with beginners, and
Okay, do you have a link to that? Do you have a link to that I can put in YouTube?
It's better she put that the American chat, because it's, oh my God, it's around more than 100 videos. So
well,
maybe
that's not good for a beginner. No, a beginner wants to know how to make plasma, not to have 100 videos.
No. Sorry. For that reason, not put that the link. It's better she linked it with the American chat and put the link in that chat.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to approach it. They can ask questions in that chat, and people can direct them where to get more information. So does someone have the link to that?
I don't know. Marco, you have it?
I don't have that offhand. It's always difficult for me to find it.
No.
Maybe it's clipped at the.
Rick, is she talking about a matter state plasma or a field plasma? And I was thinking she could make a wish and you've just created a plasma in the plasmatic magnetic.
No, I don't think that's what they're talking about. No, I think they're talking about how to make GANs water, plasma water, that kind of thing.
Keshe Foundation.
The beginner.
Go on the Keshe Wiki. That may help.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best sources, although it's a little fragmented trying to find your way through sometimes.
And maybe you want to play that second video on the new YouTube teaching channel about the free plasmas. It'll add to the understanding.
Yeah, I meant that one. Because there are three simple video of plasma science for beginner is good.
Yeah, but it's not how to make plasma.
But you remember
theory and ideas and background and everything, but she wants how to make plasma. We don't really have a beginner's program for they could go pardon me, sorry, Stefania, go ahead.
That one with the background of why you're making plasma, because it's very important when you're making plasma to have the right intention. So that one gives some knowledge on what she's doing meanwhile she's making plasma, and then she can contact the American knowledge seeker group and ask them if there's anyone practice, maybe there are some practice group going on she can link to, or some people will share some videos, because that is a good way, I think, to learn how to make plasma. There are, so I think going through the American Knowledge Seeker, I think will be the best.
Alex has put a link in the chat, and I'm going to give that link. I think that's the best for right now. Thanks, everyone.
Perfect.
Alex given the link for Mr. Keshe showing how to make the GANS Cup of Life. It's a 20-minute video that shows everything you know how to make GANs and explains about the GANs and so on. It's a good video. Thanks, Alex. Perfect. That'll do for now. And they'll have to find their way to American group or some other means. I'll put in the kfwiki.org as well.
Rick, sorry, I give little words. Do you remember Mr. Keshe? No, I don't have program because is the people when you got it the first time you take your way for understand because you have your own other knowledge and not important. Do you not need? Okay, I started the COP, so I started no, not important. When you inside it, you find you better way. Not important when you go. Sorry, maybe you understand my point and explain more.
No, I didn't understand what you're saying, actually. Could you explain better?
Yes.
Explain differently?
Yes, I know. I know have program because not have program with the plasma technology. No have program the first level, second level, third level. No, not really, because the people know about the little. For example, you start the YouTube channel, and you find the in the sorry, the website, the wiki or the website, the YouTube. You find your way for acquire the knowledge because do you have the others the knowledge before? For that reason, not have program for levels, for example.
I think what Elizabeth's saying, it's our responsibility to investigate and understand this technology for ourselves as you become that last man standing. But we'll try to, I'm sorry, I don't have the link handy to put it in the chat. Actually, I'm not sure if I know how to do that.
But she put that I don't know what the one word, the Keshe one word, and when find the American, I push it, or I don't know, you in at what chat do you have it? What Telegram chat?
Okay,
Beautiful, thank
Alex
you.
came up with the link for the chat. Thank you, and I'll give that to them. That should complete it for now. That's the American Knowledge Team Telegram channel, and
Rick, may I just
that's a
quickly
good
say as well,
that's a good resource for Riza as well. Go ahead, Dean.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. So Riza, can I just say that the plasmatic journey is not like a conventional journey, and I've experienced it myself, so I can say to you, when you open the plasma, so when you open yourself up to this knowledge, you follow your soul, and it will guide you. It will lead you to exactly the point, time, place, and position you're meant to be. And then you open the plasma. So what does that mean? It means that you initiate your intention to look further. What is this? What is plasma? And so you go searching, and you've done the first step. You ask the question, and then all these interactions of the souls are giving you little fragments, parts of the puzzle, parts of the magnet. And then it's up to you to go in and create the next part of the journey, the next part of the plasma. And then when you open it, you'll find that the plasma will open up exactly what you need in that moment. And it's already starting to happen for you. Alex has responded, and he's put in the chat, and Rick has shared it. And then you go in and you open that plasma. You'll receive the knowledge, you'll receive the elevation of the soul, you'll receive what you need, and then you start to use your to begin with, I would think you maybe use the matter state condition of the physical body to make some ganses. You make another plasma, and from that plasma, then you start to open up, and you will create field plasmas that will touch and elevate all the souls that are present in and around you, including yourself. And so the journey starts to unfold, and each and every journey is completely unique, and is for you, specifically for you. The intention, the field strength, as you gather a field strength, as you go into it more and you share more, you build a field strength and you receive more. And the more you give, the more you receive. The bigger will give to the weaker. And then you're creating a bigger plasma, and then it starts to glow a little bit. And then you create another intention. And then you'll find that the other souls will start to join you. And this may be people that you share the knowledge with. This may be some people that are close to you. It may be people through an internet connection. It may be people across the other side of the universe when you start to use your soul to connect. It's unlimited, and it will be a part of you. And then you will start to shine very brightly. The Creator and all the other souls will see it and give you more. And then you will start to give more back. And so the journey continues on. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Risa.
And if she likes reading, the books are offered on Amazon, book 1, book number 2, and book number 3.
Okay, thanks everyone. I think it's time for us to wrap things up here now. So,
Rick, I have so I can read this. So we are here to serve, not to be served. The Universal Council, and it's funny how whenever we speak certain words and we interact in a certain way, at a very specific point, I have these two little dogs in the house that seem to run up, and these little souls always want to interact at a very specific time. And their timing always seems to be incredibly unique, and exactly the right moment they come up and they want to be present. I have two magravs that in fact I have 4 magravs sat in this room, and then if you include myself, you have 5 magravs, and then you have the magravs of the 2 dogs that have just come in. And so the magravs, the interaction of the soul is constantly there. So this is, as Sweater would say, this is the where we start to sing and dance. So as we said, we are here to serve and not to be served. The Universal Council. Thank you, Rick.
Check for sound.
Well, thank you, Mark. I've been talking away here, and
I felt that. I felt
only
that.
talking to myself, apparently. Whoops, sorry about that. What I've been saying is thank you very much to the members and support members of the Universal Council for presenting today's workshop, number 342 of the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, here on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. And thank you all for attending today's workshop, and I hope you enjoyed it, and lots of good information came out, and lots of good feelings of that unconditional love that comes from the soul. So thank you all, and you see our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group. And that's also a good place for Riza or others that are beginners to learn about how to make plasma or how to make a reactor or other topics regarding the practical side of the plasma technology. So you're welcome to join us. That's Wednesday, September 4th, starting at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And we usually go for several hours of discussion and showing and telling of things. So beginners and old timers are welcome to that show. Okay, and of course we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday. That'll be September 5th, and that starts at the 9 a.m. Central European Summertime with Mr. Keshe. Okay, I think that's all for now.
Rick, the second Monday of the month, I think you'd like to hear some testimonials, wouldn't you?
Yes, thanks for that reminder. You're always there with that one. Thank you, Mark. And as Mark said, the second Monday of the month, which will be the coming 9th, Monday the 9th of September, we'll have the public meeting for testimonials. And everyone is invited to attend that show because there's some great testimonials that do come up. But if you have anything that comes to mind that may have been just a small experience you've had through the plasma technology, or maybe something that's important to share with others, and you'd like to get it out there and help pay back for your receiving of the plasma knowledge, then the public meeting for testimonials is a great way to do that. And again, that's on Monday the 9th, and that starts at the 8 p.m. Central European Summer Time. Okay, I think that takes care of that.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for being co-host today as well. And also thanks to Jedi for our background image once more. All right, we'll now get into our flight enhancement spaceship unit music version and go out with some clapping and dancing. And I hope Sweat is listening at the other end, because it always seems to bring a smile to her face, as to many of us. Okay, bye for now, everyone. Been a good show, and I'll see you next week.